This is Nithin Ramachandra from the NR Hour Sports Show. This is episode 856. I'm joined by a really special guest. His name is Marques Ogden. He's a former NFL offensive lineman. Obviously, he's the brother of Jonathan Ogden, the Hall of Famer. And also, he's a best-selling author. He's a keynote speaker. He's a motivational speaker. He does a lot of great things now off the field, helping out other people. I'm really looking forward to this interview. And Marques, thank you for joining the show today. It's truly an honor. How are you and your family doing so far?
I'm doing well, my friend. We're doing well here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Things are well. Thanks for asking. How about yourself? You doing all right?
I'm doing good. I live in Jersey, but I'm in Florida right now for vacation, so enjoying my vacation.
Nice, man. Get some good suns and some good rays for me.
Yeah. So before we go any further, I want to just say a quick congrats to the Milwaukee Bucks last night for winning the NBA championship. Good. That city deserves it. So I just want to give them a quick congrats to them. So,
oh man, they played. I was just talking about that to one of my clients when they were down 2-0,
yeah.
won 4 straight. So they absolutely deserved it. So great for them. That's great for the city of Milwaukee.
Yeah. So I want to start off with your career and childhood, because obviously you're the brother of Jonathan Ogden. So for you, growing up together in Washington, D.C., what was that like as two brothers growing up and playing the same sport? And when did you guys get interested in playing sport? Especially you, when did you get interested in playing football?
So for me, we grew up, my brother's almost 7 years older than I am. So I'm 40, he'll be 47 this year. And it was awesome. We were raised by a single father in Washington, D.C. We had a chance to play sports, at a young age, basketball, football. My brother started playing organized football in the 7th grade. I started in the 9th grade. And for me, it was great having a brother that was older than me, because it wasn't like a lot of competition.
Right.
It wasn't a lot of like, I have to be better than you and have to always outplay you. I had somebody that could kind of teach me the game, the new game, the way it was being played at that time. So it was really awesome. And I had a lot of success. And then for me, being a freshman in high school at St. John's College High School in Washington, D.C., I started playing then. We had some really tough competition in that league. I ended up starting on varsity as a junior, senior, and then I got one scholarship offer, which I was just so amazed and blessed to get, to go play football at Howard University. And I left St. John's at 6'3", and I got to Howard at almost 6'6". So I grew between my last year of high school and my first year of college, and that helped me out tremendously to be offensive lineman for the Bison.
Yeah. So for you, other than offensive lineman, did you get to play any other positions?
Yeah, I played D-line in high school, at D-tackle, D-end. I enjoyed that. And that taught me a lot about the leverage of the game, angles, positioning. So it's a lot of fun learning how to deal with that as I was moving forward, as a player.
Yeah, so this is a 2-part question. So take me to your recruiting process. What was that like? And obviously you went to St. John's, but what made you choose Howard University? And what was that experience like playing at Howard? And also, take me to your draft experience. You got drafted in 2003, round 6 by the Jaguars, and pick 193.
Yeah, so for me, the recruiting experience was pretty good. I went on a visit to Howard, and I knew I was going to be going to Howard because, again, it was my only offer. I didn't have financial means to go to college another other way. And also, my dad went to Howard. So my dad played football for the Bison. So to carry on that football heritage, that lineage, did me a lot of honor and a lot of joy. So I was able to go to Howard in that regard. And then when I was at Howard, it was really phenomenal because I got a chance to redshirt my first year. I was a 4-year starter at right tackle my first year, right tackle my second year, left tackle my third year. I was back to right tackle my last year. Then I moved into center when our starting center blew his knee out for the last 6 games of my senior year. And then from there, I went to, so I had my workouts, I had a great strength coach. I got invited to the Hula Bowl at the last minute, went out to Maui, played with guys that were like from, Texas and Rice and Miami and Chapel Hill. And my coach actually is the current head coach of the University of North Carolina Chapel Hill Tar Heels, Mac Brown.
Oh, wow.
And the opposing coach was Larry Coker, who was the head coach at Miami at the time. And it was great. And I had a lot of fun. Had a really great week of practice, had a really great bowl game. And from there, I was able to get drafted in 2003 by Jack Del Rio, who was a rookie head coach, who's now the defensive coordinator for the Washington football team. And it was great. I mean, Jacksonville was awesome. great town, great city, great people. And that started my NFL career.
Yeah. So how grateful are you? I mean, obviously, getting drafted by a team is amazing, and that means that you got to your goal. And what was that? What was that like getting drafted by the Jaguars? And actually, like you said, Jack Del Rio, a great coach, obviously rookie head coach at that time. But what was that like though? Once you got your name called and you realized that you made it to your goal and you got the dream.
Well, for me, it really symbolized that discipline is the catalyst and the bridge to between goals and accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked really hard. I had a lot of great people around me, my father, my brother, my strength coach, my coaches, people that were helping me with my technique, people helping me with my overall footwork. And to get drafted at all is amazing. But to get drafted, and I'm the first, and I'm still the only offensive lineman ever drafted from Howard University to the National Football League.
Wow.
And that in its own right is huge because Howard's had some phenomenal football players. We've had guys like Antoine Bethea, who had a nice 15, 16-year career in the NFL. We had Ronald Bartel, was a second-round draft choice to the Rams, who went to Howard. Jeff Pope, who played for a while. We had Jay Walker. I mean, we just had some really great guys play from the Mecca, that's what Howard's called. And honestly, for me, it was just a feeling of realizing that dreams can come true as long as you're willing to sacrifice and put the hard work in necessary to get from A to Z and beyond. If you're not going to work hard, then don't even bother stepping up to the table because you're not going to get where you want to get in life.
Yeah, speaking of Bethea, he was on our show last year, and it was an honor talking to him. What a great safety he was in the league. And I want to ask you, though, you got to play with different teams throughout your career. For you, how tough was it for you as a player? Obviously, NFL is a business, but how tough is it for you moving from team to team? But you got to experience different cultures.
It's very hard because you go from one offense to another, one coach to another, but you're a professional. It's your job. So you have to learn how to adapt quickly, get from where you are to where you need to go, and then really get entrenched and really submerge yourself into a system. And when you do that, it gives you a great chance of making the team, but more importantly, making great friends on your team that you can keep and sustain for a lifetime. So like even today, I played with Tennessee. So guys like Albert Haynesworth, and I'll talk to him through social media, Bo Scaife, Vince Young, then from Baltimore, guys I played with like with Haloti Nada, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, then of course with Jacksonville, guys like Mark Brunell, Kyle Brady, Maurice Williams, David Garrard. Then of course, when I was in Buffalo, Willis McGahee was a good friend of mine. JP Lossman. I still talk to Eric Moles, who, all these different guys. So for me, it's really about the ability to learn how to get into a new situation, get to a new team, adapt yourself, and quickly move throughout the ranks.
Yeah, so I want to get to your Ravens career because you got to play with your brother, Jonathan Ogden, in Baltimore. What was that like playing with your brother on the same team?
Oh, it was amazing. I think the biggest aspect of what we're doing, as Ravens was really big on trying to make sure that we weren't comparing to each other. I think we should have really worked on trying to find ways to get into the systems, which we did. And it was just amazing because doing so, I learned from my brother at a higher level and a much bigger level. And what I was able to do, I was able to really focus on getting myself entrenched in the Baltimore Ravens, locker room, but also in the community. And when I retired from the NFL, I actually moved back to Baltimore. That's where I live with him. I had a home there. I had a business there. So Baltimore was absolutely a phenomenal place to play. Great fans. But then after my career was over, I moved back to Baltimore and I began my life after the gridiron.
And you also played for the Titans too. And then you also played for the Scottish Claymores and Reading Express Triangle Tours. And whoever doesn't know about that league, can you explain that a little bit more?
Sure. So the Scottish Claymores was NFL Europe. That's when the NFL sent players over to Europe to play. Like you had Scotland, you had Dusseldorf, you had Berlin, you had Amsterdam, and so guys like James Harrison went over there. They had some phenomenal guys that went over there and it made them a lot better. Kurt Warner went over there, and that was awesome. Then the others were just some indoor football that I played, when I was done playing the NFL. I still wanted to compete. I still wanted to go after, that drive to be the best and do what I need to do. And I really loved it and I enjoyed it. And, that's what I focused on. And I ran my business, but at the same time, doing what I wanted to do as far as, my career, in construction.
So for you, whoever didn't know about you, what did you bring to the game as an offensive lineman throughout your career?
Oh, for me, I brought an attitude. I brought a teamwork mentality. I always work well with my teammates on the offensive line. I always, if I made a mistake, took full accountability. I didn't blame anybody. I didn't try to pass the buck. I didn't try to get people or players set up or things went wrong. And I also was a guy that when practice was over, I could hang out with my teammates that were on the defensive side of the ball because it's just business, it's work. Once they'll blow the whistle and you walk off the field, you should have some sort of camaraderie, some sort of friendship, and really kind of move forward in that regard. And I think once you can do that, it'll really help you get into a better focal point, which I mean of that is that learning how to have life and build relationships outside of the game. But for me, I was a big guy with, teammates and having that whole professional process. But I was a real big guy who would hang out with his teammates. But when the whistle was, if it's practice or games, I brought a dog mentality because that's the only way you could play in the National Football League and not get hurt.
Yeah, so I'm just curious because we had other offensive linemen on the show before, and I want to ask you this: some people think the offensive lineman position is an easy job, but to be honest, I don't think it's an easy job. But for you, what was it? How hard was it for you to adjust to offensive lineman? Tell people how tough it is to be an offensive lineman and help the quarterback to keep the quarterback safe. That's the main thing.
So run blocking is much easier because you get to go forward at somebody. You still have to have great balance, great posture, great leverage, great hands, great foot placement, great hat placement. Keep your butt low and keep your legs outside your shoulder frame to keep driving that person down the line. But pass blocking is so much harder because you have to back up fast and stay balanced as somebody's running forward at you with all their steam in the engine, all their fuel in the tank coming straight at you, trying to either run over you or get around you. And we have to back up and we have to kind of keep ourselves moving backwards, but yet be balanced enough where somebody tries to hit us and it shocks us, we don't get knocked over or bowled over. Yet at the same time, we can't be what's called top heavy, where all of our weight is at the top half of our body because we're being a back bender, not a knee bender, which causes the guy to be able to go around us with ease. So absolutely, I feel it's absolutely imperative that we're able to get ourselves in the position of having good posture, good form, and good body lean position. So playing offensive line, especially with a team that throws the football a lot, is really hard. It's just a lot of hard work.
So this is a two-part question. So now looking back at your career, how grateful are you to be in this position to be able to play the game you loved in the same position as your brother, and getting to your goals? And how grateful are you to be in this position? What advice would you give to younger athletes that are trying to reach their goals?
I would tell younger athletes, learn how to listen to veteran athletes that have been there. You don't know everything. If you haven't been in the NFL, you don't know what it's like to be the best of the best. You could be trying to get on your way. And I encourage you to have that mentality and that attitude. But understand, if you're not the NFL, you're not the best of the best. Or if you haven't played the NFL, you were never the best of the best. Right. So learn how to be humble and remove your ego. I have an acronym for ego: exaggerated, glorified opinions. Don't think you're better than what you are. Don't chase the glory. And somebody's trying to speak to you and help you. You don't have to have the last word. You don't have to try to be that individual that says, oh, you say this, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do that. Like, you don't need to do all that. So I would tell younger players, learn how to speak to people, but most importantly, learn how to be an active listener and listen to people who have been there. Don't talk as much. Yes, tell them about, again, talking is nice. Like, what are you struggling with? What do you want to work on? Et cetera, et cetera. But do not think when someone tells you something, you ask them a question and you don't agree with it, don't be disrespectful. Don't think you know everything. Somebody that's been there and played the game at a high level than you, they know something that you don't know. Right. So learn how to listen and push your ego to the side.
So before we get to what you're doing now, I want to ask you, as a family, how proud of you guys seeing your brother get elected to the Hall of Fame, and take me back to that day when he got the call that he was going to be in the Hall of Fame. What was that?
Oh, it was amazing. Like, we all pretty much thought and knew it was going to happen, but until it happens, you don't know.
Right.
Yeah. Got that phone call and everything was like, it is so excited. We were sitting there at the house and they saw his name come across for the new Hall of Fame 2013 class. It was like a huge achievement for him. And I couldn't be happier because the amount of work my brother put in, the amount of dedication he put in was absolutely top flight, bar none. And that's what this game is all about. You can have good or even great raw talent, but if you don't work on it, then it doesn't mean anything because you won't get to where you need to be. So I think exactly where he got in the Hall of Fame is exactly where he deserved to be because he put the work in.
Mm-hmm. So now after your career, obviously you're a speaker, you're a best-selling author. So what's it like now to have the things like being a best-selling author and motivational speaker? What's that like so far?
It's amazing. It's being able to tell stories to people, pulling in the theme and or topic they want you to speak on while getting them engaged fully in your talk. And that's something that a lot of people want to do. I thought I knew how to do when I first started in 2013, but for 2.5 years, I didn't get one paid job. Looking back on it, I realized that I wasn't as good a speaker as I thought I was. And because of that, I literally put myself in a position where I could not do what I needed to do. And as a result of that, literally, I put myself in that really bad place. And in the day, you learn, you grow, you adjust, and you learn how to move forward with what you have to do. And that's what I did. And as a result of that, now where I'm at, I have a lot of clients. I have a lot of things companies I speak for, big corporations, Home Depot, Molson Coors Beverage Company, Siemens, Cisco, all PNC Bank, all these juggernauts. But now what I'm doing is my passion. It's my career, and I'll be doing this forever because it's just a great feeling to help people achieve what they want to achieve that struggle with how to get from A to Z and beyond.
Yeah. So how often do you go to like speaking events? And obviously last year with the pandemic, I'm sure you did a lot of Zoom meetings and Zoom calls. So, but how often do you now go back to events?
So now I'm back traveling like 3-4 times a month, going out. I actually have a job today, virtual, for Molson Coors Beverage Company. But then next month, I've got a job in Raleigh in person. I've got to go to Chicago. I've got to go up to a job in Pennsylvania. So I've got a lot of things that are now really coming on pretty strong in Philadelphia. And really and truly, it's just about marketing. You have to be marketing all the time and be putting yourself out there. I tell clients all the time, if people don't know you exist, they can't buy your product. Right. So if they don't know that you're out there, if they don't know you have a company or a product or service, you will not become successful. It's just not possible.
Yeah. So before we get to the last two things, where can people find your book?
Sure. They can go on our website, www.marques, Marques, Ogden, OGDEN.com, or you can go to Amazon online, Barnes and Noble online, or any Barnes and Noble bookstore across the country. We are in the business section within Barnes and Noble's bookstores all across the country. The success cycle.
Well, so the last few things here before I let you go, our team is part of this foundation called the Hugh Jackson Foundation. He's a former NFL coach. He's now the offensive coordinator at Tennessee State with Eddie George. And we're trying to help him prevent human trafficking, making sure the community stays safe and the kids stay safe. So I'll send you the foundation so you can go check it out.
Absolutely, man. I know Hugh Jack. I know him, Hugh Jack. I know him very well. And Hugh Jackson's got a great personality, great coach. I actually met him in California when I was doing a job out at USC when he was scouting Sam Darnold. So yeah, if I could do to help Hugh Jackson his cause, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. And the last thing here, would you like to say anything to all the nurses, doctors, and essential workers right now?
I would like to thank them for their work. They're putting their lives on the line for people like me to be able to live life, and they're risking their health, their lives, their families, everything. I've seen people that are dog tired, people that have taken on third and fourth shifts, people that haven't gone home for days. And especially last year, it was just absolutely insane how much they were working and how dangerous it was for them to take care of people who had COVID or help keep us from getting COVID. So to all those essential workers, nurses, doctors, everyone, thank you. Because without you all, where we're at today in a better position, not wearing masks, being in a better society that has less COVID, and we're trying to see a lot more reduction, we wouldn't be without you all. Because without you all, we would have had a lot more lives lost, because you all helped to really keep us in a great position. So thank you to all you essential workers. You're absolutely a godsend.
Yeah, well said over there. And there it is. That wraps up episode 856 with former NFL offensive lineman Marques Ogden. Go follow him on all social media formats. He does a great job off the field now. He's a motivational speaker. He's a best-selling author, and he helps a lot of people out there in the world. And man, thank you again for joining the show. It's truly an honor. And tell your brother said hi. Obviously, you're the brother of Hall of Famer Jonathan Ogden. So keep up the great work. And we would like to have you back as a returning guest so you can meet the full team.
Absolutely, man. I look forward to it. Thanks for having me on. Have a great day and talk to you soon, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.